Whee!
Hi, baby.
Picture
Hi,
to daddy.
Hello.
Gotta keep crying, sister.
Yeah. 2260.
Okay.
5 pounds, 0 ounces. You know, Kim already said biggest thing is keeping her nice and warm. And then feeding as soon as she shows us that she's ready to, okay?
Okay. Get me out of trouble, I see. Oh my goodness.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while. I kind of went MIA on you guys for the past few months. Not purposely, just had a lot going on. This is not how I wanted to tell my birth story. I actually wanted to vlog it, but everything kind of happened so fast. We really couldn't vlog. Like I said, everything kind of happened unexpectedly. As you can see, Rain is here. She was born October 3rd. Her due date was November 6th, so she came about 5 weeks early. And the reason for that was I actually went in for my routine checkup with my high-risk doctor on a Monday, and during the ultrasound, they noticed that her heart rate was dropping, or it had dropped really low. So they decided just to put me on a machine just to monitor, and as they were monitoring, they realized that it continued to happen. So meanwhile, I had not packed my bag. I had like my bag partially packed. I actually was gonna leave that doctor appointment and go do like some shopping. Just everything kind of just happened. I didn't have a diaper bag yet. It was coming in the mail in the next few days, but I thought I had, you know, some more time, at least two more weeks. But it didn't work out like that. So they ended up admitting me because they wouldn't even let me go home. I asked if I can go home, which I don't even know why. Y'all, I think I just was like, I need to go home and get my life together. I need to go home and pack my bag. I need to go home, make sure my kids are okay, and somebody's there to pick them up from school. But like I said, everything kind of happened so fast. So I ended up calling my husband, which he had just another thing, like he had just gotten off work, working 12 hours. My appointment was at 7:30 in the morning, so he probably got home about 8:30. I probably called him about 9 o'clock, letting him know what's going on. He's panicking, and you know, he's tired, he's panicking, and he's trying to, you know, he don't really know what to pack for me, or you know, what stuff I need in my bag. Like I said, I had my bag like partially packed. I was just very lazy. Like that weekend before I had her, like I actually ended up going to the hospital. As some of you may know in my previous videos, I was telling y'all I was in and out the hospital having contractions. I actually ended up going to the hospital that Saturday before I had her for some contractions once again, and they just told me like, oh, you have it was kidney stones, which I have never had kidney stones in my life. I don't even know anybody who has ever had kidney stones, but the lady was like, oh, I went to the ER, I didn't go to my doctor. So the lady's like, oh, you have kidney stones, and gave me some antibiotics, which she gave me some antibiotics that I was already on, but whatever. Late Sunday night, I started having contractions again. This is the Sunday before I had her. So I started having contractions that night, and then I didn't go to the hospital because I was already like fed up. Like I was fed up with going to the hospital. I was over it. I'm like, I'm tired of leaving late in the middle of the night to go to the hospital. It was just annoying. So I felt bad afterwards. I felt like I should have went to the hospital that night, but I was like, you know what, I've been in and out. Every time I go, it's nothing, or you know, just send me home. So, but the next day after everything started happening, and I thought back to the night before, I was like, it was kind of weird. Like she was moving around a lot, but it was weirdly moving around. And right then and there, I should have knew something was wrong, but I was like, I was so tired, y'all. Like, I can't even explain how tired I was. And already can't sleep. Using the bathroom 11 times. I was over going to the hospital. So, and I had an appointment that Monday morning anyway. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna wait. Got to the hospital, had my routine checkup. They saw that her heart rate was dropping. They put me on another monitor to confirm, and it continued to drop. So at this point, they admitted me. Okay, my husband already know. He's on his way to the hospital. He's calling me, packing my bags, trying to figure out what to do with the kids or whatever. So he gets to the hospital, and we're going through the process, and they ended up giving me an epidural, which they said that it's a possibility that it could affect her more, and I would have to have an emergency C-section. But thank God, because I was like, I did not want them to cut me. So we get to the hospital. We're already in the hospital. I'm checked in, and basically we're waiting. Waiting to have her. Everything's going well with the epidural, and everything's going well with the epidural. Kinda going well with the epidural. So let me say, like, all my other kids, I've never felt any type of pain pushing them out. Nothing. I've never felt nothing. I'm completely numb below. So, and let me let y'all know, like, I had a traumatizing experience. Don't get me wrong, the doctors and the nurses and everybody was nice and sweet, but my this last pregnancy already overall has been like crazy with me having issues and then in and out the hospital. So get the epidural. The epidural seemed like it's working, but I feel like on one side it's more numb than the other. Doctor comes back in, he kind of tries to fix it. I don't know, he said he fixed it, but it didn't. I don't know. So 3 hours later, time has gone by. My husband's knocked out. He's asleep. He's knocked out. So, finally, it's time to push. They come and check me, and then once they check me, I'm like 8 centimeters dilated or 7 centimeters dilated. And as soon as the doctor walked out the door, I felt like this big gush of, I don't know, like I'm sure my water, big gush of water, and I could just feel pressure of time to push, basically, which I have never ever felt this. It was weird. Never felt this feeling, never felt the wetness, never felt any of this. So I can feel the pressure, which they say that the epidural is only supposed to just numb the pain, but you can still feel pressure, which I have never felt. So I'm feeling the pressure. My husband's out the room, and it's time to push, basically. It's time to push. So I push her out, of course, get her out of there, and she gets out, and she's having a little bit of difficulties breathing because she's so little. And when she was born, she weighed 4 pounds, 14 ounces. So she was tiny. She was very tiny. So I don't even think they put her, I don't even remember them. Usually they put her on my chest. I don't even recall them putting her on my chest. They just took her straight to the incubator, and my husband, watching. He's looking at me and I'm looking at him. We're kind of like, they're talking to the baby, telling her, she needs to breathe. So we had like a little scare there, but as you can see, she's healthy and she's happy. She didn't have to stay in the NICU, thank God. And the only reason why she didn't have to stay in the NICU was because those prior weeks when I was coming to the hospital, they already gave me a steroid shot to help with her lungs. So with that, she didn't have to stay in the NICU. And since I was 35 weeks on the dot, because the lady said if I would have came in the day before, she would have had to be in the NICU, which I'm just grateful that, I already had. So all that happened, my baby's here, she's healthy. We're loving up on her. I'm having issues with myself. So, which we already knew was a possibility that once I have the baby, I was going to have a lot of bleeding, possibly. I was actually supposed to, that same week, everything just happened so fast. That same week, I was supposed to go to the hospital downtown to have a CAT scan of my body to see, because they were saying that I had some type of something on my uterus, which could have been the reason why she was small. So I was supposed to go and get that checked out to see if there was, I guess for them to have more information on, be prepared for what you know, could possibly happen, but we didn't have time for that. So I ended up having extremely a lot of bleeding. I bled probably, had her Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I didn't stop bleeding the normal bleeding until didn't start happening until Thursday. But in between that, so let me tell y'all. So Tuesday, the doctor, not my doctor, but the ER doctor who I've been seeing for the past few weeks when I was coming into the hospital for an emergency or whatever. And he's really nice, really nice man or whatever. He was a really nice guy. He came in, he was like, oh, he's gonna check me. You know, TMI, y'all, but you know, they check you to make sure, you know, push on your stomach, you know, look and see how's the bleeding, which I had a lot of bleeding. He put his hand in me, y'all. Like, he put his hand in me, which I knew he was. Let me not make it seem like I didn't know. I knew he was gonna put his hand in me. He told me he was gonna just, you know, just kind of put his hand in there just to see what may be going on. He put his hand in there and he was basically scooping out like my clots. He was scooping. I was screaming at the top of my lungs, y'all. That was the worst experience of my life. I was screaming so loud. Some of the nurses started running in like, what is going on? But yeah, I just had a baby the night before, and he's literally in here scooping out, trying to get as much of the clots or whatever out of me, so to see if that may stop the bleeding. Y'all, I couldn't even cry. Like, that experience, I wanted to cry so bad, but I couldn't. And I can't even explain it. Like, I couldn't even cry. My husband wasn't there. He went and changed clothes and went to go get me some food. But I know if he was there, he would have been like, what the F? Like, what are you doing to my wife? But I was screaming so loud. The nurses come running in. Everybody's looking like, oh my God, seeing what's going on. And I'm traumatized after this. Like, I'm holding it together, but in the back of my head, I'm like, I cannot believe that this just, you know, happened to me. So, to get out, he tried to scoop out the clots or whatever, and he was like, and obviously he heard me screaming, and he was like, just take my hand and squeeze it as hard as you can if you want. And I'm just like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to hurt you because you're hurting me. Let's get this over with. So my stomach's already sore. He's just had a baby the night before, and he's literally digging out clots. So I'm traumatized from that. Still heavily bleeding. Like I said, the bleeding didn't stop till Thursday. They had me doing, they were telling me that I might have to be transferred to the hospital downtown to have surgery. They were thinking about doing a DNC. Some of you may know what a DNC is. They were thinking about doing a DNC, but they were scared that if they did the DNC, that it would cause more bleeding, or they would have, because they were just going to clean me out with the DNC. So, scraping. So, with that, so they were gonna do a DNC, but they were scared that if they did it, they would have ruptured whatever was on my uterus. Then they had me doing something with radiology, something about they was gonna put something in me to stop the bleeding. It was just a hot mess, y'all. I was just going through a lot. I'm in and out of these people bleeding, literally. Get up, I'm bleeding everywhere. I couldn't even really move out the bed because every time I move out the bed, blood's everywhere. Like, blood was all over everything. Blood was everywhere. Sorry, y'all. But it was just awful. And at that point, like, I didn't want to record. I already going through some of the stuff before. I just was kind of like, just wanted to get through. You know, just wanted to push through. So finally, my doctor came and saw me. He checked me. By Thursday, if the bleeding didn't slow down, I was going to have surgery. I was going to have to transfer to another hospital, be away from my baby. And that's not what I wanted. So thank God that everything kind of worked out the way it was supposed to. The bleeding stopped. Well, it didn't stop, but it wasn't as much. So by Friday morning, we were discharged, which I was so happy about. I was ready to get out of the hospital, couldn't get home. As soon as I got home, y'all, as soon as I walked through my door, like, I just broke down. Like, I'm getting a little emotional right here. But I just broke down because I felt like everything I've been through was just so much. And especially these past few months being pregnant, in and out of the hospital, having all these issues. They're telling me she's going to be small, doing all these tests, and finally get in the house, and I'm like, I just break down and just start crying. I can't even explain. Like, every time I think about that moment of the doctor just going in me, like, if this was my first child, I probably would not have any more kids. Like that, no, I wouldn't have any more kids. Like, that situation was just so traumatizing. I just couldn't see myself going through it again. But yeah, I broke down, got home, was happy to be home. And, you know, again, like, I wanted to come back and update you guys about everything then, but I started having some postpartum depression, trying to get into a routine with the baby, and then we have 4 other kids, you know, we have 4 other kids to take care of. It was just a lot going on at that time, and I just felt like I needed to get myself together. I need to be okay. I need to focus on me. I need to, and yes, it's been 2 months, it's been a while, and I'm just now starting to feel okay. Like, I'm okay. Baby's doing well. I'm getting back into working out, eating healthy, just trying to get myself back. Now that we kind of have an idea of how everything is going to be, routine with the kids, you know, like I said, it is a lot. And sometimes us as moms or wives or whatever, moms, wives, whatever, we have to take that time for ourselves and get ourselves together, because if we don't, it just won't be good. It's just not gonna be good. And I can say right now that I'm good. And I also had like support from my 2 best friends, which I also one of my best friends, she also had her baby around the same time. She had her baby a week after me. And, you know, we kind of been like supporting each other and just talking to each other and just giving advice and just helping each other. And that also helped me. And don't get me wrong, my husband, he has been awesome too. He's been, especially when I came home with the baby, knowing everything I've been through, he really picked up a lot of the slack when I just was not there, if that makes sense. Just wasn't there. But like I said, I'm better now. Baby's healthy. She's 2 months and she weighs 9 pounds now. She's still so tiny. And she's very feisty and just have this attitude. You know, I don't get into like, what is it, signs and all that stuff. My friend was like, oh, she's a Libra. She's a Libra. I don't really get into signs like that, but yeah, she's very feisty, and we're just so happy that, you know, our last baby, and I feel like our family's complete. We have a lot of kids. 5 kids is a lot. 5 kids is a lot. It has been a lot, especially with them having basketball, band, one of my youngest daughter, she wants to do gymnastics. It's just a lot. So, you know, we have our hands full over here. But I just want to say thank you guys for all your support. Thank you for, you know, checking in and commenting, and, you know, and I'm just sorry. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm sorry I haven't been on it. Like, but sometimes you have to take a break. Sometimes you have to just focus on the now and then worry about everything else later. You know what I'm saying? But we thank you guys for all your support. I'm gonna see if she's gonna let me show her face a little bit, because she's been showing her drool and just so feisty, and she don't want. Let's see. It's my little Rainy Poo. We call her Rainy Poo. Rainy Poo, Rainbow, Rain. Oh, okay, she's getting mad. She's getting mad. But thank you guys, and hopefully we'll see you in the next video. Bye.